Hi, welcome to the TNT show. Today's episode is brought to you by Performance Guards. In case you haven't heard, we're having an exciting Star Wars movie ticket giveaway. Super exciting. So, opening weekend, ticket to Star Wars The Force Awakens. How do they win those?
Well, they need to tweet at us at #TweetTNTShow, the hashtag #FreeTixTNTShow, or anytime you make a comment on one of our videos, you're entered to win. We also want you, while you're there, to subscribe so you know when those episodes come out, when we will announce the winner, and any other good stuff, because we're going to be giving away a lot of stuff.
This is just the beginning of free stuff.
This is just the tip. We're giving away a whole iceberg.
Also today, Bond.
James Bond. Oh, jinx. With the release of Spectre, everyone's talking about James Bond. We're no exception. As you can see, we're in James Bond mode.
Didn't you recognize me? This is after hours.
This is before hours.
Yeah, you look like you're ready to go play. What is it he plays in Casino Royale? At the table. It's not?
He's a big
Baccarat?
Baccarat player.
Baccarat, yeah. Baccarat. Which is like, I think, fancy hold'em.
Yeah, it's not. It's just a high-low game.
Yeah.
Calvin ball of cards. They just make it up as they go.
So what is it that makes a good James Bond movie? Or even a good spy movie, if we want to make it more general?
I'll start.
Yeah.
The thing that I love about the James Bond movies in general, cars and chase scenes are always awesome. There's always just a suave, debonair feel to the whole thing that's always cool. I don't need a lot of gadgets, but I like a couple really cool gadgets. I, for one, also enjoy kind of the intrigue part. It doesn't have to be all action. Just setting up why there's bad guys and what they're doing, and it's not just a bad guy with a weather control system. Like, he's got a plan, and sometimes it's stupid, or sometimes things have to happen perfectly, but he's got a plan, and there's just a lot of magic about putting that all together with some really cool guys and beautiful ladies, and everything just happens.
Yeah, I have to agree. That's a great super spy movie is really a combination. It's a great mix of a lot of good storytelling elements. You have your unflappable super spy character who's pretty much an expert at everything, and then you need a really good villain, which super spy movies came up during the Cold War, and having the USSR as the overall arch enemy.
Russian bad guys are the best.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the best they can do nowadays is just harken back to that with Sean Bean or something, as a former Russian. Yeah. But like you said, some great action scenes. I also like it when they change it up. Sometimes you'll have either the main character will get married, which would be totally ill-advised, and everybody in the audience is saying, "Don't do it, she'll get killed." George Lazenby. Or to have a main character get killed. I don't want to spoil Skyfall or anything, but James Bond dies in that movie, and I didn't see it coming.
I agree that with the villain thing. I think a villain really makes or breaks a spy movie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How believable is it if your villain looks like your next door neighbor and you totally barbecue with them? Like,
there's for different kinds of movies that you want a next door neighbor bad guy, but not a super spy movie.
No, you want someone a little twisted, a little funny,
Mm-hmm.
a little funny.
Like Muammar Gaddafi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love James Bond movies so much, guys.
Yeah,
so much.
they're
So I'm
great.
excited to get into our TNT round. Oh, guys, time for the TNT round.
Yeah.
Okay, so today's first question is, who is the best James Bond? Obviously, it comes down to Daniel Craig versus Sean Connery.
Disagree.
What?
Roger Moore.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, he's not particularly handsome, charismatic, tall, or strong, but he's still the best James Bond. Go on with your question.
Okay. Well, this leads right into the debate then. Who is the best James Bond and why? And you have to, provide some solid reasons.
Well, you might as well finish now. If you're,
Right?
if you're going to rep Roger Moore, go ahead on.
And then I'll choose the winner, obviously.
All right. Roger Moore is the best James Bond because of the James Bond movies that he was in. He was not the best looking James Bond, like I said, but that's not what it's all about for me. For me, it's more about good action scenes, good car chases, skiing, all kinds of cool stuff like that, which I realize he didn't do himself, but I'm guessing the other Bonds didn't do most of their own stunts either, except for Daniel Craig, because he's pretty awesome apparently. But I just loved I grew up on the Roger Moore James Bond stories, and before it even occurred to me that he was supposed to be a lady killer, I thought the guy was great.
I like that skiing had its own bullet point.
Skiing.
Top
check.
10 reasons. Skiing.
Yeah. I don't know if Sean Connery did a lot of skiing. I think he's the winner.
Bond. James Bond.
Because he's just what I imagine, especially young Sean Connery, as just so charismatic, and he played the part, and you believed, that guy is going to get by. Not, his fisticuffs were good, and, he wasn't super gadget heavy most of the time, but he just came off as, here's a guy that can get into groups and uses charisma to find out information, and he had lady time, because you have lady time and those things, but he really played, this is what an international man of mystery should be, until Austin Powers did it.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
But I mean, before that, he was the international man of mystery.
But did he go to the moon?
I don't believe so. No. I think Roger Moore is the only moon surviving James Bond.
Yes.
One other thing that I think I'm giving the point to Garrett.
The day is mine!
Although neither of you said Daniel Craig, which is the obvious answer, so we're just going to leave it at that.
Fair.
Daniel Craig is the best Bond.
Is that because of his face, his accent, his hair, or his physique?
I think that the Craig movies are a little more believable. It was the 60s when James Bond was introduced. Movies were cheesy and campy, and so I mean, I know that that's part of the thing with
That's
James
fair.
Bond movies, but I just think Daniel Craig's a little more believable as a cold-hearted spy who kills in the name of his country and shows no remorse.
I like
Saying
it.
he
It
doesn't have any
doesn't
feelings.
hurt that he's dreamy.
Well,
okay? It doesn't
look,
hurt.
as far as I'm concerned, Sean Connery is the dreamiest.
And he's
so
got
let's
a
just
great
get that
physique.
out there.
But I
I think Pierce Brosnan was the dreamiest, honestly.
Pierce. Oh, don't get
crush.
me started. No, Pierce is automatically disqualified after his participation in Mamma Mia. You almost ruined James Bond for all of us just by being involved. The
Yeah,
singing.
he actually damaged his other movies by being in Mamma Mia.
Guys, there might not be any time to talk about Pierce Brosnan's
No,
failures.
there's
We
no
might have to go to
time.
the next
There's
question.
no time. Well, the next question is, which is the best James Bond movie of all time?
I'll start. I think it's From Russia with Love. It was the quintessential Sean Connery movie. Had an awesome fist fight on the Orient Express. It had Spectre, which, Spectre. As a big bad guy, it had vampy KGB agent ladies, and it had that Russian. I'm kind of into Russian bad guy thing, so I just thought that was just a great culmination of what Bond is. Not super gadgety, but he fought. There was some action. There was all kinds of stuff.
Plus, the Russian spy chick was super
Yes,
cool.
she was super cool. She had
a chick who
she had,
takes care of herself.
toe attacking spike
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Who doesn't toe spikes? Yeah. All right, Matt, what do you think?
I think the best James Bond movie was The Spy Who Loved Me, because it starts out with skiing, of course, and because it just had so many things going well for it. Actually, even before the skiing, it started out with a great title track.
It was a great title track.
And that one
It
was
was Nobody
It
Does
was
It.
Nobody
Nobody
Does It Better, which
Carly
I think
Simon.
is maybe the best Bond song.
Could be. It's high quality, but so it was a great movie. I loved the fact that they had the KGB agent working next to him, which is one of the worst Bond girl names ever, which I didn't understand until I was a bit older and really started examining it. But anyway, the agent that he was working sort of for and sort of competing with. I always like that story type when they put the enemies together and make them work towards a common goal. The Lotus that he drives that turns into a submarine, it doesn't get a whole lot cooler than that.
Is cool. I like the coolness.
And it had Jaws in it. Great
Jaws.
villain, great combat villain for James Bond.
Oh, I think we're out of time.
There's no time to
Matt,
continue.
Yeah, there's no time. So that's actually really rough. I think Matt made a more compelling argument in favor of his ski-filled movie.
Yeah, ski feeling.
So I'm going to go with Matt, but I think you also had a great choice. But that
And
means
another not Nigel Craig movie we picked, so that's...
no one picked Skyfall, which again was the obvious choice. But I'm going to let it go for the sake of being friends. Which means we need our tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker question. Best James Bond gadget. This can be from the movies, or it could be a gadget that you think he should have had.
Matt.
Okay. Please don't disqualify me based on choosing a gadget from The Living Daylights, which we'd all like to forget. But there was a great gadget in that movie that was a keychain that Q gave to James that could respond to different whistles and do different things, like put out a little vapor that would stun people. Probably worked as a normal keychain also. But
That would be sad.
Also holds your keys.
Yep, it could open 90% of the world's locks, which that's
Handy.
kind of standard super spy fare. But it would also blow up, and I love things that explode. I thought that was a great gadget.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
I also like gadgets that can accidentally be set off in the real world, but that never happens. How often do you hear someone whistle in real life? Come on, this thing's perfectly safe.
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve?
What about you, Gene?
My gadget would go perfect for this show, which is the car ejector seat.
Ejector seat? You're joking.
I love any time, because if it's coming up, it's going to be a scene. Somebody gets ejected, and then somebody kind of hit the button and eject the blue team there. But it always factors into the plot, and you even though it's coming, because you just know, like, okay, there's a car chase. They find a way to either hit a button or have somebody climb up, or there's a fist fight, or there's always just a potential for great ejector seat scenes in the car ejector seat. I love that. Based in car combat. All car combat should have the chance of somebody getting ejected from a car.
Plus, it goes with that whole James Bond notion of being close to his enemies. He likes to sit down and have dinner with his enemy, and they have this sort of civil discourse while they're working to kill each other in the background. So James would sit next to a car and just take a friendly drive with someone that he's ready to kill. It's the same thing as having a button at the table that you can push and make Garrett fall down into the alligator pit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, those are both really great options, although no one said sonic screwdriver, which is also the correct answer. But okay, whatever.
Daniel Craig with a sonic screwdriver is what I meant to say.
This is like my dreams, guys. I think I'm going to have to declare the winner to be G. And look.
Ooh.
That was easy.
Yeah!
I just
Red team
ejected you.
button.
It didn't work. We'll fix that in post.